brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. Sports is brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. By your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward. And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Nice night for ball game in Pittsburgh, and the fans coming off the gangway from the Allegheny River onto the North Shore as the Cardinals and Pirates will play their final game against one another in 2012. Manager Mike Matheny, a former catcher, giving a high five to Yadier Molina, injured in the game last night when he was run into by Josh Harrison in the second inning. National League wild card picture right now. The Braves on top. Cardinals behind them in that second spot. Pirates trailing the Cards by 2. The Dodgers beat Colorado 10-8 today, so they've evened things with the Pirates for now. The Diamondbacks losing to Cincinnati. They've dropped to 8th back. And the Brewers emerging in the picture now. 9.5 out.
It's important not to let anyone get in between you and where you need to go. Keep those Dodgers where they're at. Diamondbacks, I think they've lost, 5, 6 in a row. They're taking their self out of this thing. So, yeah, you got to keep watching those Dodgers up.
Wandy Rodriguez coming out of the bullpen, completing his warm-ups, walking alongside Rod Barajas. The left-hander tonight looks for his first win as a starter as a Pirate. Counting it down to the first pitch from PNC Park, the Cardinals and Pirates coming up on Root Sports. Got it, baby.
Raise the Jolly Roger. A whitewashing of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Last night, the Pirates cruised to victory 9-0, blanking the St. Louis Cardinals. Can they do it again tonight? If so, they will take the series and the season series. Cardinals and Pirates, final meeting of the regular season coming up. Pedro Alvarez, a pair of home runs, 11 total bases, and he threw the leather around as well. An all-around terrific game for Pedro Alvarez last night. He's got to be feeling good about things entering this evening's game, and he has been a Cardinal killer this year. Buccos taking the field right now. Wandy Rodriguez coming out. Rodriguez 8-13, 1-0 against St. Louis this year. Josh Harrison, fans like him, he's filling in for Neil Walker, is still out with tightness in his lower back. St. Louis Cardinals will line up this way tonight. John Jay leading off, playing center field. Carlos Beltran in right. Matt Holliday is the left fielder. 9 out of 21 on the current road trip with a home run, 5 runs batted in. Alan Craig, David Freese, Skip Schumacher, Tony Cruz behind the plate for call bats 8th, and the rookie Joe Kelly pitches and bats 9th, facing the left-hander.
Yeah, take a look at Wandy Rodriguez numbers, brought to you by the Western Pennsylvania Chevy dealers. ERA is snuck up there a little bit. It's up above 4. It would be great for him to do similar work from what we saw last night with James McDonald. That start by James could not have come at a better time. We needed somebody to go out there and really dominate. He came through at a clutch moment, and this game tonight might even be more important. As you were telling me earlier, both teams have won 7, so this not only is the rubber match for this series, but for the season series. And no telling what tiebreaker you might be involved in with these guys. So got to win tonight. Hopefully Wandy will do a great job for us.
Buccos looking for their 70th win, also 69-60 to start the game tonight. Defensively behind Wandy Rodriguez, Jose Tabata in left, Andrew McCutcheon the center fielder, Travis Snyder in right. Alvarez and Barnes, Harrison and Jones around the infield, with Ron Barajas back behind the plate, catching Wandy Rodriguez. Ron got a little fired up last night after Harrison was plunked by a pitch from Jake Westbrook, and he had more than a mild conversation from the third base dugout across the field to the Cardinals in the first base dugout, who were jawing right back to him.
Yeah, it's kind of like the heat of the moment. Everybody's getting kind of emotional last night. You have those type of physical plays, but I'm sure everybody is settled down now, ready to play some good baseball. Can't let emotions get the best of you.
First pitch to John Jay, outside and low for ball 1. Chris Carpenter, who's not able to pitch right now, recovering from surgery. He was doing a lot of the talking in the Cardinal dugout last night. Veteran leader of the St. Louis club. Clint Hurdle is the recipient of the comments made by Carpenter, because Hurdle had come out to talk to home plate umpire Adrian Johnson last night and say, hey, why bench warnings here? And Rod's been around quite a bit, and that's what got him upset. He has seen these situations before. Johnson down at third tonight.
Yeah, the umpires, they just have to go with what they're told to do. And you know, I agree with everybody down there in that regard. The warnings are ridiculous. They're meaningless. You know, the way it should be is just when they exchange cards every single night, say, hey, if one of the pitchers tonight does something that we think's out of line, we're throwing them out of the game. Just get it over with right there every single night, because that's the way the rule is right now anyway. You don't have to be warned to be thrown out of a ball game. So what's the thing with the warning? Just gets everybody's dander up.
Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief, behind the plate. John Jay fouls off another.
But I don't think there was anything. Either team really did anything last night that was that big of a deal. Josh Harrison came in and plowed into the catcher, who did a great job catching that ball on the short hop and then blocking the plate, held on to the ball. Super baseball play. And then Westbrook, protecting his player. He hits him later on with a down in the thigh, back of the leg, I think. No problem with that. You're supposed to, protect your players if you think something happens out there, and as long as it's not upstairs somewhere, then that's the way the game's played.
John Jay walks to lead off the ball game. Last night, Harrison getting plunked.
He got it down low on the 5, and in my mind, catchers get hit like that every night, multiple times. It's not that big a deal. I don't think Josh really was upset with it, but because of the warning that you had of what you just saw there, all that jawing back and forth.
Beltran to right center. Beltran hitting in the number 2 spot tonight. Hits Wandy Rodriguez pretty well generally. Mike Matheny trying to get him an extra at bat perhaps. One is out and one is on, and Matt Holliday will come up to the plate. Head to head, the record's dead even. Pirates with a better batting average. They've scored more runs. They've hit more home runs, and the earned run average is better. Well, it's about the wins.
Yep, that's the important column up top. Who gets number 8? That'll be decided here in the next couple hours.
Holliday swing and a miss. Holliday starts the night with a .309 average, leading the league with 90 RBIs, 24 runs batted in, 24 home runs rather, and is slowly working his way into the MVP conversation. Ball, 1 strike to Matt Holliday.
And the Pirates try and crowd Holliday best they can.
Holliday went 0 for 3 last night, snapped a 7-game hitting streak. And the 1-1. That's low. 2 balls and a strike. John Jay, the recipient of a leadoff walk. He is at first base. Beltran is flying to center. 1 out for the Cardinals in the top half of the first inning. Wandy Rodriguez trying to find the win column, and Ray Searage trying to help him get there. He is 0-7 in his last 8 starts, dating back to his days as a Houston Astro before the trading deadline. His last win as a starter came on the 7th of July as an Astro against the Milwaukee Brewers. 7-6 in the first half, 1-7 in the second half of the season.
The ERA, that kind of tells you why.
As 1 win came in relief.
Not going to win a whole lot of them when you're averaging 5.5 games, or excuse me, 5.5 runs a game.
3 balls, 1 strike to Holliday. Down to short. Now it's Barnes going at Harrison for the second out. Nice play by Clint Barnes. Jay tried to take Harrison out. He just kind of bumped him on the way by. There are 2 men out and Matt Holliday at first.
Jay going after Harrison a little bit. I think Josh is going to have to expect that tonight.
Yeah, he went after pretty far off the bag.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of the game too.
Yeah, that's why he's going to be kind of a marked man out there. They're going to go in a little extra.
There's nothing wrong with good aggressive baseball.
So that play wasn't a double play ball there. Normally the runner is trying to beat that ball to second base, so he's going to go hard straight into the bag, wants to get to the bag as quick as possible because it's not a double play ball. But in that situation, Jay said, heck with that, I'm going after Harrison. And, you know, those are the things that kind of happen when you let emotion get the best of you. Really, from a purely baseball standpoint, that ball way over in the hole, Jay with his speed should have been trying to beat the play to second base, not go after Harrison. It's not a double play ball. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here, about how and baseball's a funny game. Emotions can actually, you know, be detrimental to the cause if you get carried away with that sort of thing.
Well, looks like some carryover from last night here in the first inning. That's why players, when they make a mistake in the field, they can't bring their glove to the plate with them, because if they go to the plate angry, it doesn't always help, and vice versa. These guys are conditioned emotionally to turn it on and turn it off. Breaking ball is high, and Wandy's in a number of 3-ball counts here in the top of the first. It's 3-1.
Well, there are some places where the emotion can help you on a baseball field. For instance, let's say that was a double play ball, and you know, Harrison's trying to turn it. Well, then that's where you want to have a little anger. You want to be going after that guy and try to take him out as he's turning a double play.
3-1, hit to left field, right at Jose Tabla. He'll grab it for the out. No runs, no hits, 1 man left through a half inning. It's the Cardinals nothing, and the Pirates coming to bat against rookie Joe Kelly. Inning. Rivers Casino tips to win. What'd you come up with tonight, Bob?
Well, you got to be ready to hit the fastball, because young Mr. Kelly has got a pretty good one. So get up there and have your hitting shoes on, and don't be looking for breaking balls and all that stuff. Hit that straight one, and be careful with emotions. I always talked about that a little bit. And there's certain areas of the game where they can really help you. Use your emotion. You're really fired up, you know, to run hard on a routine single. Put yourself in position to maybe get the second. If you hit a routine fly ball to the outfield, when that ball's caught, be in between first and second. Use your anger to do things like that. But when you're up there pitching or you're hitting, you got to make good, basic baseball fundamental decisions. And sometimes, if your emotions are running high, you don't make those decisions.
Jose Tabla takes strike 1. Joe Kelly
pitching that 19-inning game in St. Louis, and the fastball was in the upper 90s at times. I'm curious to see how it'll play tonight in a starting role as opposed to coming in out of the bullpen.
Over his last 5 starts, his fastball is averaging 94.2 miles an hour. On the season, 93.7 miles an hour as a whole. And he doesn't look like he's got a lot of bulk behind him. Kind of a tall, skinny guy. Not all that tall, 6'1", 185, but he's able to use his arm like a slingshot. Tabata fouls that one off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe Kelly's 24 years of age. He's from Corona, California, born in Anaheim, and returns to the rotation for the first time since the 14th of August. He was a placeholder for Jaime Garcia. Garcia came back. Kelly went to the pen. Kelly pitched pretty well, and again 5 2/3 innings in that 19-inning affair. Ended up going back to the rotation. Lance Lynn taking his spot in the bullpen. You take a pitcher with 13 wins like Lynn and say, not good enough, you're going to the pen.
Wins that you already have don't do the team any good down the stretch. If you're not pitching well, you got to make the change. Kelly's pitching well. He's in there. This is no time for worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. You got to go with the guys you think are going to get the job done.
Jose Tabata strikes out looking.
94 right over the inside part of the plate.
Pirates lineup brought to you by Toyota. You saw Tabata, Travis Snyder, and Andrew McCutchen. Garrett Jones bats cleanup. Pedro Alvarez hitting 5th this season against the Cardinals. .389, 6 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Harrison, Barajas, Barmas, and Wandy Rodriguez. Snyder's up to an even .300 batting average. Takes inside. Pretty good seats. It's a good ticket to have tonight.
Awfully close. Watch the bat. Turn around now.
Got to watch the ball when you're that close.
Got a left-handed hitter up.
Like Neil Walker on the picture of the ticket. And Neil still battling with that tightness in his lower back, missing his 3rd straight game. Day off tomorrow. That should help. Heading into the weekend series with Milwaukee in Milwaukee. Pitch outside to Snyder, 2-1. Neil here tonight. And on Monday night, he was just told to go home. He was not available at all and in some discomfort. Actually left the ballpark. On the corner for strike 2.
Change up there.
85 miles an hour.
With the same path that the fastball normally takes, but 8 to 10 mile an hour slower.
Kelly's 2-2. Down to third and down the line, and Snyder is going to turn first and head for second base. He's got to hurry. The throw from Holiday, not in time, and a 1-out double for Travis Snyder. That's his 5th 2-bagger.
Got that fastball a little bit off the plate away from him, and he's just trying to poke it somewhere and stay alive, and he hit it right inside the bag. And immediately he saw his good fortune and put his head down and got himself into scoring position.
Pop-up slide to finish up with.
He had to push that accelerator down just a little harder as he went around first base.
Andrew McCutchen takes on the outside edge. Strike 1. McCutchen just 1 point behind Melky Cabrera for the league lead in average. McCutchen at .345. Cabrera suspended for the rest of the season at .346. No balls and 2 strikes to McCutchen. Kutch had another multi-hit game last night. He doubled in the 3rd, singled in the 5th. He scored twice. Ended up 2 out of 5. And now no longer has the team lead in home runs. That belongs to Pedro Alvarez, who has 25. Nothing and 2 to McCutchen. Kelly's pitch. Ground ball right to him. Snyder was hung up, but Kelly didn't throw over there.
What was Kelly thinking?
He had an out at second and the lead runner if he wanted him.
Yeah, he could have taken the runner out of score. Watch this. He's got the ball. Look, he sees him. There's no way he doesn't have Snyder there, and went to first base with it. He'll take advantage of it. A little 2-out RBI single. I think that play really hurt.
Garrett Jones, the batter. Pirates get the cleanup man to the plate in the bottom of the 1st inning. Jones hit the ball hard last night. Didn't have much to show for it. He did get a base hit. Sacrifice bunt. Pops this one up third base side. David Freese by the railing. It's too far up.
Hit the cable.
It did, didn't it?
Yep. And don't ask me if he catches that. Is he out? I have no idea what the ground rule is on that.
Well, that was my next question.
It hit that and bounced over into the field of play. I'm guessing it was a dead ball. Just like as if the ball hits the backstop, it's a dead ball. Cable, maybe they play it as part of the backstop. It's my best guess.
Okay. Jones rips this one to right field. It's over the head of Beltran, off the wall. Snyder around third. He'll score. And in with a 2-out RBI double is Garrett Jones.
Absolute laser beam out there. And it didn't really make any difference. I think whether he went after Snyder or not, because if he would have got Snyder off second, McCutcheon's going to score on that ball. What a rocket. This is a way to open the ball game up. To hit a ball like this. Scorched it. Now, Kelly's got a good arm. He throws hard. His fastball, when you watch it, has a tendency to be pretty straight. And he doesn't have a ton of strikeouts. And he does give up a lot of base hits, despite the fact that, just stuff-wise, pure velocities, better than average.
Speaking of average, Pedro's has been steadily climbing. He's at 247. Told me before the game today that the first home run he hit over the notch in left center field, he felt he got it all. And that one was about 415, 420. The second one he hit last night, the solo homer in the 6th inning, was the longest home run ever hit by a Pirate at this ballpark. 4th longest all time at PNC Park, 469 feet. And I asked him if he knew what kept the ball from going in the river. He said he saw the replay last night. He saw the little kid picking up the foul ball before it could get into the Allegheny.
Now that's a real impressive one right there. That ball's down and in, and he hits it the other way 415 feet. That was incredible. There's that big blast that rolled down the back hill. But how did he hit that pitch on that first one? It was a strike, but it was knee high right on the inside corner. Now, if he would have dropped the head down to that ball and pulled it out over the bleachers and right, I could understand it. But he hit a home run, 420, the other direction. That was incredible.
Kelly's 1-1. Alvarez, little tapper. And Kelly's going to wait for him and tag him out. Pirates get a run on a pair of doubles. Jones driving in Travis Snyder. After one, it's 1-0 Bucks.
good sign for them. They're 38-13 this year when they score first, so that's good stuff. Of course, the Berg's still buzzing about what happened yesterday. Josh Harrison's collision at home plate with Yadier Molina, which got us to thinking about some of the more famous home plate collisions. Of course, you go back to the All-Star game, and it's Pete Rose hitting Ray Fosse, and then Ray Langford nails Darren Dalton in 1991. Ty Wigginton, Pirates fans remember this on Coye Hill. Mike Matheny, the Cardinals manager, was an excellent defensive catcher. He got run over tons of times in his career. Then Scott Cousins nailing Buster Posey last year. So that got us thinking about tonight's text poll question. And do you think collisions are good for baseball? Text yes, which would be 1, or no, which would be 2, to 412-412. Let us know what you think. Message and data rates may apply. Guys, I like the hard-nosed part of baseball as long as the head is not targeted. With all the thoughts now about concussions and all the research being done, as long as the head is not targeted and the umpire doesn't feel that way, I think collisions should be part of the game.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if you're not trying to intentionally injure somebody, then yeah, it has been a part of the game for so long, is a part of the game. And when Buster Posey was injured last year, there was so much talk about, oh, we got to get rid of this. And no, it was a knee-jerk reaction. And it was a clean hit last night. Molina was in the baseline, and when he was run over, I believe it was Wigginton who ran him over as well a few years back. He was also not only in the baseline, but up the baseline. So, yeah, it's been a part of the game for a long time.
Overwhelming number ones, huh?
Early returns are in favor of yes, it's good for the game. Freeze hits this one well to right center, but right in front of the track is Snyder. Freeze is gone, 1 down. And this ball was hit pretty well by Tabata, and a nice throw. Better play there by Molina.
I think one thing that is overlooked, well, you just mentioned it, though, the better play by Molina. That was a fantastic. See that gold Rawlings that he's got on his chest? He's a Gold Glove winner multiple times, probably the best catcher in the league, and that was a tremendous play. That ball was in the dirt. He was able to pick it out of the dirt with that catcher's glove, take the hit, block the plate, hang on to the ball. That's just a great baseball play by both players.
Schumacher grounds it to short. Warmis, the leaping throw, gets him. 2 gone for the Cardinals in the second. $80-20 right now. You text 412-412. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Our collisions at home plate, good for baseball. If you ask that man right now, I don't know what he'd say, but he is certainly feeling the effects of it. He hopes to be back Friday or Saturday when the Cardinals play the Washington Nationals, and they may need him against the Nationals.
How would you take collisions out of the game? It's almost like a mute point, isn't it?
I don't know.
How would you eliminate them?
Well, you and I are on the same page on it. I don't think it should be taken out. I think it's an important part of the game.
It's like I said, it's a mute point. There's no way to take it out.
Ground ball to second. As Tony Cruz breaks his back. A 9-pitch inning for Wandy Rodriguez through an inning and a half. Pirates 1, Cardinals nothing. Final game between the Cards and the Pirates this season. Allegheny Sports Medicine injury update. Yadier Molina. Second round of concussion test came back negative today. His neck remains stiff and sore, and he hopes to return this weekend. And the upper back, neck, and shoulder strains were the report last night. So he is sitting this one out tonight, and more than likely tomorrow night in D.C. against the Nats. They play a 4-game series with Washington. Joe Kelly to face Josh Harrison. Harrison's first at bat of the night. Chops this one foul.
Finish up on my thought real quick. The only way you can't take away contact at the plate as long as catchers are between the runner and home plate. There's no way to take away contact, whether it's sliding a feet first or not.
Harrison stings this one, but heading back is John Jay. He makes the over-the-shoulder catch.
So you would have to make it illegal for a catcher to stand in the baseline, and if a catcher moves in the baseline, then the runner is automatically safe. That would be the only way you could do it.
This play last year, Hunter Pence throwing to the plate, and Harrison trying to knock over the Houston catcher, Carlos Corporate, and ended up getting a bit of a concussion and bloody nose.
He kind of did a half slide, half run into him, and then when you do that, you take the risk of hurting yourself. But I can remember Mike LaValliere getting his knee blown out for the season, and it was a slide into the plate. He put his foot down in front of home plate, and I think it was Rex Hurdle, maybe, or Hudler. Can't remember his name.
Rex Hudler.
Rex Hudler, yeah.
Rex the Wonder Dog.
Yeah, he slid in feet first and blew out his knee, blew out LaValliere's knee. So. But that's going to happen. If a catcher is allowed to be in between the runner and the plate, there will be contact, and people will get hurt. And if you want to stop that, you have to make a rule saying if the catcher is over there, if the catcher is going to get in the way, then the runner is automatically safe. That's the only way you can do that.
So the feet first slide last year, that's a lot more dangerous, it would look.
I think it was half feet, half face. He went in shoulder first last night, trying to jar the ball free. And you're trying to make a play to score a run also, instead of having to give yourself up. Should there be no contact at second base?
Then you wouldn't be able to take out a second baseman or shortstop.
Right. Should John Jay be thrown out of the game for what he did?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. These are things that have been around since the invention of the game, so why change them now? It's just good, hard, aggressive baseball on both sides. 1-2 to Rod Barajas coming up from Joe Kelly. One out, bases empty. Kelly's pitch is popped up on the right side over the first base dugout. Well, last year when the conversation started coming up surrounding Buster Posey, it was obvious that was just knee-jerk discussion. Well, some guy got hurt, popular player.
No, it wasn't some guy. That was the difference.
Well, that was it. You're right. Popular player, good player. And Barajas got himself a base hit. One out single for the Pirate catcher. And the Pirates with a man aboard with one out.
Barajas ripped that one nicely. Over the bat.
Get Barajas to the 200 mark. Sitting at 199 prior to that at bat. Rod at first base, one man out. Batter is the shortstop, Clint Barnes. Barmes had a pair of runs batted in, 2-run single in the 5th. In last night's game, he'd go 1 for 4. Takes strike 1 from Kelly. Joe Kelly out of Cal Riverside. He and Mark Zipchinski in the bullpen for the Cardinals, teammates at that school, college. 0-2. That pitch looked like it was down and in. And it was down and in. But called a strike, so Kelly getting a call there. And the 0-2 to Barmes. Ground ball to short. Charging is for call. He'll have 1 play. He retires Barmes. And that moves Barajas into scoring position at second base.
Wanting a chance to help himself. He has 1 hit on the year. But right now, just cut down your swing best you can. You know you're going to get something straight. It'll be coming at you at a pretty good velocity, but still it's going to be straight. Just try to poke something to the outfield. It'll have to be in between the outfielders. If it pokes it right at the outfield, not going to score Barajas. He doesn't have very good speed, and the outfielders are going to be very shallow here.
And a ground ball to short. The call will throw out Wandy Rodriguez. The runs ahead, a man left through 2 full. Pirates 1, Cardinals nothing. A nice night in the Berg for game 3 of this 3-game set. We hit a few moonshots. 1-0 Buccos as we go to the 3rd inning. You can subscribe to MLB.tv and take advantage of new low pricing and see every remaining Pirates out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Pirates.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Parrott making friends no matter where he goes.
He's a friendly Parrott.
Late August in Pittsburgh.
I was out on the deck earlier. Pirates are having a social networking party out there, and met some kids from Plum High School. They wanted me to shout out #BrownBagging it.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. I don't think they were happy with their lunch prices.
Well, it's early.
And a lot of them out there having a great time tonight. I'm sure they're enjoying the game to this point. Pirates out on top 1-0. Cardinals still haven't got a hit yet.
You know, you've just contributed mightily to their social media experience. So he's putting the hashtag brown bag in a thing in her phone right now. So look at that. Bob Walk just said she can't believe it. Rafael Furcal, the number 8 hitter, follows the first pitch back. It'll be Furcal and the pitcher Joe Kelly. Then the order will flip over to John Jay at the top. 0-1 pitch to Furcal. It is in for a strike. Now, the Pirates every so often will have social media nights out on the deck under the left field scoreboard. Folks who've been chatting about the Pirates get a chance to interact with one another.
A couple of announcers will come by. Some players will stop by early, take pictures, sign autographs. Nice little pre-game get-together.
1-2 pitch. Furcal watches it outside, 2-2. Do you have a lot of new followers on Twitter now as a result?
No. Considering I don't tweet, probably 0. Guess that's what you call it, right? Tweeting?
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering because, you know, you figure you're such a progressive guy, you know, open to all kinds of new ideas. Strike 3 to Rafael Furcal, but, you know, you might actually get into the social media age one of these days.
No, I don't see that happening. I'm just now mastering texting, you know. So
really, yeah. You have any rotary dial phones in your house still?
There might be one down in the basement, I think. I know we have some phones that have cords going in the wall. I know that.
Well, they got to go into the wall, but do you have any still with the curly Q cord?
Oh yeah, handset. Yeah, at least a couple of those now.
Yeah, like they have with the bullpen.
Yeah, like bullpen phones. There's one actually in the wall on the basement with the little curly Qs going up. But if you call me, it looks exactly like that.
Like that.
I think it's even that color. If you call me and I'm working on a car out in the garage, that's the phone I'll be on right there.
Is there a stadium missing a phone like that by chance? What do you think the future holds for the bullpen phone, Bob?
You know, I would imagine that will go the way of social media. I can see some of those. What's this one? I can see some of those. What do you call it? The pad type computers.
Tablet?
Yeah, tablets. You have one of those out in the bullpen. You have one of those in the dugout, and the communication is like that. In fact, and this is what I've thought about for a long time.
Kelly, a ground ball toward the middle. Barmes is there. He got him by a step, and they're 2 away.
Well, someday baseball will do away with the paper lineups at home plate, and you know the umpire will have something in his pocket, kind of like a smartphone type thing, to where he just touches the players' names, and then everybody up in the press box immediately knows what changes have been made. But now it's still ink and paper. This is the way I hope it stays, but you can't stop progress, I guess.
Well, baseball's thinking man in the booth. And you should hear the conversations we have off the air. We're on the bus or on the road or whatever, the things that Bob thinks of. All these great ideas, only to look them up and find out somebody else has already patented it. But it sounded great at the time, and it's a good thought. He didn't know somebody already thought of the idea, but
that's why they
different inventions he'll come up with.
Gotta kill time somewhere.
0-2 to John Jay from Wandy Rodriguez. Fouled off. As part of your social media experience, you can go to rootsports.com, click on the Game Connect tab, and maybe some of the social media is passing through some of that. I don't know. But there are smart people who know how all that stuff works. But you can tweet along with other Pirates fans. You can also email the booth. Maybe we'll get your question on tonight if you do that. 1-2. Just a bit high. It's 2-ball, 2-strike count to John Jay. Wandy's all ready. 2-2 coming to the Cardinals center fielder. He has been right around the baseball. He's found a number of pitches back in both of his at-bats tonight. He walked in the first inning, earned a walk, following off a number of Rodriguez offerings. Three balls and 2 strikes.
Long at bat. He's able to lay off the bouncers. One very high. He wouldn't chase. Never even thought about that one. The bat never moved forward.
John Jay keeps hitting those fly balls in the wrong direction. Jay's got a 9-game hitting streak. And he's going to get a 10th pitch.
And Wandy's really been working him all over the place too. He's tried everything to this point. Up, down, in, out. Can't find a hole to get the last one by him.
And the 3-2. Walked him again. Very, very tough at bat for John Jay, and earned himself a second walk. 2 outs and a man at first. Carlos Beltran coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1. That's our Day Automotive key matchup, brought to you by our friends at Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. 8 out of 21 career against Wandy with a pair of doubles and 3 home runs. Switch hitter batting right-handed, bangs one to right field. Well, the 2-out walk helps keep the inning alive, and now the Cardinals have the tying run in scoring position and the potential go-ahead run at first base for the number 3 hitter, Matt Holliday.
Jay doing what those table setters are supposed to do. Didn't put that one where he wanted. Like Braha set up inside, wanted to crowd him. And left it on the outside half.
That's one thing Clint Hurdle was talking about the other day, is the fact that during this stretch where the Pirates have lost more than they won, oftentimes it's been the pitchers missing their spots. They haven't been dotting the catcher's mitt. And what happens when you miss your spot? Sometimes the ball gets hit hard somewhere. So Ray Searage out to have a word with Rodriguez, and Barnes has joined the meeting. So I always like it when the catcher has got a mask on already, still uses the glove to hide his face.
You know, this is kind of a recent thing that's happened just since I've been an announcer. I'd go back a decade or so. I didn't remember there being that many secrets. It's everybody, it's every team. Whatever they're saying, they don't want anyone to know.
That's baseball's version of the cone of silence.
Yeah.
So Rodriguez stretch, 2 on and 2 out for Matt Holliday. Breaking ball in for a strike call.
Now that ball was right down the middle. Breaking ball, belled high, middle of the plate. Holliday let it go.
He's 0 for 1 tonight.
Look at that.
Middle. Hits this one hard up in the air to right center field. Travis Snyder's got it. And the Cardinals will strand 2. We are through 2.5 innings, and the Pirates hanging on to a 1-0 lead. No runs on just one hit, heading to the bottom of inning number 3. Get the inside scoop on every WVU football game with Mountaineer Game Time on Root Sports. Every Saturday, tune in for a preview of the upcoming game and get an inside look at the Mountaineers' 2012 season. It's all part of Wild and Wonderful Sports, and it kicks off this Saturday at 11 right here on Root Sports. We are family except for that guy. How'd they let him in the family anyway?
Don't know. Must just be a relative from St. Louis, I guess.
It's the black sheep of the family.
Can't be mean to him.
Well, Talbot is 0 for 1. Struck out first time up. And we'll chop it down to third. Freeze charges. Jose's 0 for 2. Travis Snyder will come up next. Face Joe Kelly. Notice the glasses on Kelly. He wears them when he pitches, but not when he hits. Takes them off when he hits.
That makes the hitters feel better that he's got them on when he's pitching. Knows where he's thrown it.
But it's the same distance when he's hitting. Just the other way. Wandy Rodriguez resting comfortably right now. 1-0 lead. A good second inning. A 9-pitch second inning. Retired the side in order. Got the hit and a walk in the third, but survived that. They get Matt Holliday to fly to right to end the inning. 3 balls in, no strikes. Snyder way ahead of Kelly here. And he takes ball 4. 4-pitch walk to put Snyder at first. One out and a runner on, and Andrew McCutchen now to face Kelly. Great shot. And look at that moon. You talk about dotting something. It dots the sky, almost dots the eye of the golf building.
Right there you can see why this is arguably the greatest ballpark in America.
Yeah, it's giving Andrew McCutchen a pretty good target to shoot for. Where that moon is.
It really is a destination spot for baseball fans around the country that like to travel. No, not there. PNC Park.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the future of baseball, Bob. Maybe that's the future
franchise
destination point.
Yeah. I guess it'll have to be a dome, though.
Probably so. Don't need a retractable roof on the moon. Need a regular roof.
I'll tell you, the ball's going to have to have a humidor. Ball's going to carry.
Ball. They could build a dome in the Sea of Tranquility. They'd have to be called the Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles, good call. Have landed. Aiming for the moon. It's up high. 2-1.
Breaking ball up there. Wouldn't break too much.
McCutchen has back-to-back multi-hit games. First time since early August he's done that. And when he has at least 2 hits in a game, the Pirates are 35-10. So he has a lot to say about what the offense does in a given night. There goes Snyder. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Snyder's in easily.
Oh, tremendous jump. I think that Cruz is going to do about it. I was a little surprised to see him even throw. He had no chance.
Second stolen base as a Pirate for Snyder.
Very slow leg kick. He was off to the races.
2 balls and 2 strikes. McCutcheon held up. One appeal. First base umpire Lance Barksdale said he didn't go.
Now looking at there's Molina watching things.
It's a guy that a lot of teams don't run on very much. But trying to take advantage with him out of the lineup. Who's not as strong defensively.
He got a year, and both his brothers couldn't have threw out Snyder on that last one. Yeah, it was all on Kelly.
3-2 pitch up in the air to center. Snyder's going to tag. Jay makes the catch. Snyder breaks for third. And he is in. There's 2 men out. McCutcheon tried to hit the moon, but
there it is. He's going to drop it right on top of it. No, just missed.
He laid up.
Might be one of the best shots of the year right there. That is an incredible sight. I'll have to put that one on the melt reel.
It's a pretty technical term.
I don't think they have those anymore, though, do they?
Yeah, they do. They're not reels, they're drives now.
Oh, okay.
But they just call it a melt. At the end of the game, they put all the highlights on it and save it. All kinds of different shots. Jones with an RBI double first time up.
Every now and then I get a shot of Kelly with those glasses, and he looks like your buddy.
Who?
Sheen. Charlie.
Oh, Charlie Sheen? Oh, you mean
the Wild Thing.
The Wild Thing.
I've seen a couple angles at him, and it just reminds me of him over Major League.
Yeah, we saw Charlie not too long ago. His dad Martin in Cincinnati. They came for the Pirates Cincinnati series. We're staying at the team hotel. Rick Vaughn.
Yeah, that's right. That was the character.
Ball 4. Second walk of the inning issued by Kelly. Well, Kelly comes from an athletic family. His dad was a wide receiver at Vanderbilt. Played briefly with the San Diego Chargers, but he's got another famous relative. He's a distant relative of the famous mobster George Machine Gun Kelly.
Kelly really had a lot of respect for Jones on that last pitch.
Barrel Automotive league leader stat, home run rate. Coming into tonight, Ryan Braun every 13.3 at bats, and Alvarez 16 at bats. Barrel is driven to be better. When Pedro hits him, he hits him in bunches. 0-1. Runners off the corners, 2 men out. Snyder at third and Jones at first. And they pitch to Pedro. 0-1.
I would love to be a fly on the wall to hear what they're saying about Pedro in their meetings, the way he has tortured the Cardinals this year.
Let's go, Pedro!
Separated at birth.
I think that's Pedro's biggest fan.
Brings the batting gloves to the plate when he's hitting.
Well, that fan was here last night also, and he had the time of his life, I'm sure, watching Pedro bash the baseball.
3-1. And Kelly a pitch away from loading the bases. He's got to come in on this pitch, and Pedro knows it. Maybe Pedro can shoot for the moon.
certainly hit a moonshot last night.
The 3-ball, 1-strike pitch to Alvarez. Swung on, hammer deep to right field. El Toro has struck again. A 3-run shot for Alvarez. The Pirates lead it 4-0. This guy is something else.
Big power hitters, they can carry a club like nothing else. They can put a team on their shoulders while they're hot. He is smoking right now, and I'll tell you, the whole team is riding right there, just above where it says Alvarez, right on his shoulder. Now, we're going to see the pitch. Watch where the catcher is on Jones. Look where they're setting up with Jones, and he throws the ball right where the catcher wants it, 6 inches off the plate. Pedro Alvarez is on deck. I couldn't understand that. What were they thinking? That was a 3-ball pitch. Cruz sets up outside for ball 4. Kelly puts it there, and now they have to pitch to Alvarez? That was amazing to me. And now it's really amazing because of what happened with Alvarez.
And he hits an absolute frozen rope right here. Just a laser beam. He knew it right off the bat. That ball was gone. And Harrison follows that up with a single up the middle. Josh Harrison 1 for 2. Let's take another look at the swing by Alvarez.
He's way ahead in the count. He can just sit on whatever he wants. In fact, that's off the back fence. He didn't even hit it well. Great summer at the ballpark this has been.
This is a big series for sure, and the Pirates need to win the series. And they're starting off in a good fashion tonight. Still a long way to go. Hopefully they'll add on. But when you talk about Pedro and hitting home runs, you mentioned it before that swing. He does hit them in bunches. 2 last night, 1 so far tonight.
He crushes the Cardinals. Absolutely, his Cardinal numbers are just awesome. And that's why I could not for the life of me figure out what they were doing when Garrett Jones was up there on that 3-ball pitch. I'm like, does anybody know who comes up next? It was just amazing.
July 20th and 21st. 2 home runs in back-to-back games. He did it this year against the Indians. 16th and 17th in Cleveland. And he's 1 away from doing it against the Cardinals. The way he's swinging the bat, you can't count him out. It's very early in the game still. He's had a grand slam against the Cardinals this year. 7 home runs against St. Louis.
Keep Pedro away from the bird feeder. He doesn't like Cardinals.
Well, it's his last chance at the Cardinals. Now if we could get him to feast on the Redlegs.
Yeah.
With 6 more games to go against Cincinnati, that would be nice. And the Astros and the Cubs and the Brewers too.
Brewers next.
And heading off to a home run friendly park in Milwaukee. Pedro has reached base safely in 12 of his last 13 games. Wandy is stretching out. Keeping the arm loose. Two outs, 2 ball, 1 strike count to Rod Barajas. Harrison the runner at first. And a pitch from Kelly. They wait. Throw to first instead. And Harrison gets back. In 14 games, make it 15 games. against the Cardinals. Alvarez has 7 home runs, 23 RBIs, and 12 runs scored. The Cardinal killer. Anderson gets back again. 17-5 this season when Pedro knocks one out of the yard. That's a trend. Clint Hurdle, after last night's game, explaining that's why the Pirates feel the way they do about Pedro. He can be a game changer. There are times when he slumps and goes into strikeout slumps and fans get on him, but last night they were actually applauding him when he struck out after going 4 for 4 prior to that. Barajas flies to right field, and the Pirates, on the strength of El Toro, pick up 3 runs. Home run number 26, and this one was mashed. Pirates leading 4-0 after 3 at PNC Park.
He's top of the 8th. 6-1 Dodgers, bases loaded. A.J. Ellis hits a grand slam home run to center field. His 11th home run of the season. That gave the Dodgers a 10-1 lead, but it proved to be a much-needed home run. The Rockies scored 7 in the 8th. The Dodgers win it, guys, by the final of 10-8.
So the Dodgers get a win on the road. The Rockies have been handling their business earlier in that series. That's what happens when you play on the moon. The ball travels out.
That series has definitely been like the old days in Colorado. A lot of runs scored, 18.
This whole season, though, the ball's traveled like it used to. Pedro Alvarez trying to keep the Pirates in front of the Dodgers in the wild card hunt. Trying to pick up another game on the Cardinals. We start the top of the 4th inning. First baseman Alan Craig takes strike 1 from Wandy Rodriguez. So now Wandy, who hasn't been in the win column in a while as a starter, spotted to a 4-0 lead for the first third of the ball game. It's his job to hold down the Cardinals. Missed outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pedro got it done defensively last night too. One of those nights where everything went right for him.
Got one of those necklaces a little different than the other guys have.
Well, maybe he's got the flavored one.
I don't know. I want one like he has, because that thing's working really well. And yeah, maybe it's got those little candy things.
Pet?
No, not pets.
I know what you're talking about.
The necklace.
Candy necklace. It's got the elastic.
There's a name for it.
Candy necklace. Somebody will text you or call you.
Lori, text me with the name.
2-2 pitch to Craig. And a breaking ball and missed. Fills up the count at 3-2. Ooh, a little little bit outside.
Not by much.
Payoff coming to Craig from Wandy. Down to Barmes. He's got a good hop. 1 out. Time for our AT&T Mobility trivia question tonight. Alvarez last night had 11 total bases in the game. Who is the only current Pirate to have more than 11 total bases in a game? One current Pirate right now that has had more than 11 total bases.
I think it's a trick question. I think it's going to be Pedro tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I think that Pedro tonight could be the answer to that.
Freeze, ground ball. Pedro diving stop from his knees. He didn't get him. Almost had him.
That was close.
Field single for Freeze.
Needed to throw it on one last hop. We're going over, makes the catch from his knees. 1, 2, yep, one hopper would have been good. Freeze just able to beat it. Look how close this is. It is on. Oh man, that was close. Whew. Gotta love the AGH cam showing those shots.
Skip Schumacher did not go, says Adrian Johnson. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, so what you're saying is if Pedro gets, more than 11 total bases tonight, now you're saying that the Gypsies in the trailer are coming up with trivia questions that don't have an answer yet.
I think
that will be in the future. Maybe that's the theme of our telecast tonight. We're talking a lot about the future.
Gypsies are known to tell fortunes. They can look to the future. So I wouldn't be surprised that they're anticipating a 12 total base game from number 24.
They've got the crystal ball down there. Maybe they can tell us what's going to happen in the Milwaukee series. Get ahead of the game.
Sure they can.
1-1. Strike call. Ball 2 strikes to Schumacher, the second baseman. Schumacher ground out to short in the second inning. .4-0 Pirate lead. Freeze the infield single at first. Schumacher fouls this one away. I think we had a fumble from that gentleman.
Had an error. You're hearing about it.
Now the reporter's there. He's going to tweet it out next.
Yep.
Schumacher takes strike 3. He is gone on strikes. Second strikeout tonight for Wandy.
Schumacher down on strikes last night. Once on 3 straight pitches. This time 4 pitches.
Look at the job Barajas did framing that pitch. Brought it back down. A lot of times it's going to tell the umpire it wasn't a strike when you move the glove around that much, but catchers do it anyway when it's close. Strike called to Tony Cruz. Cruz will be the catcher for the next couple of days. Nadia Molina is down. Strike 2 to Cruz. All Molina can do for the next couple of days is watch. The earliest he'll be back will be Friday. Shooting for Saturday perhaps. And that's a big series for the Cardinals too, because Washington is extremely tough. They're very good at home. They're leading Miami right now 5-0 on the road at the top of the 5th. 0-2 ground ball to second base. Harrison flips to Barnes. There's the short out. The bag. Wandy Rodriguez puts another 0 up in the top of the 4th inning. As Melly fireworks light up the Pittsburgh skyline thanks to Yuengling Oktoberfest. It's also an Eaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday, where all fans receive a scratch card good for prizes from Eaton Park. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. Another big night. Pirates and Cubs here at PNC Park, Saturday, September 8th.
Row, row, row your boat.
That's more like,
aren't we supposed to
stroke, stroke, stroke.
We're supposed to sing. We're supposed to like
gently
come in. Yeah. We didn't do that right, did we?
No, we fouled that one up.
They were rowing down the river. Now they're going to start the homeward leg. It looks exhausting to me.
Looks tiring. Watched a bunch of it from the Olympics. I thought that was one of the good events to watch.
I got some news on the candy necklaces.
Oh yeah, what do you got? It's very important. What do you got?
They were made by Smarties.
All right, yeah, that sounds good.
And they're called the original candy necklace.
Yeah.
And they were introduced in 1958. There you have it.
You know, you ask Bob and you get all kinds of information. Smarties, what is it called? The original candy necklace?
Yep. And that's where Pedro Alvarez gets all of his power.
Been around since 1958. It's probably a little stale.
Each one of those little candies is like a power. It's packed with home run power. And you see he chews on them during the inning. He's out playing defense. So he's ready when he goes in to hit.
Armas swings at one in the dirt. Cruz throws down. Strikeout 2-3. Put out one out for the Pirates in the fourth. Well, that's a good story, Bob.
I know it is.
Not true, but a good story. AT&T mobility trivia question. Last night, Pedro had 11 total bases. The only current Pirates to have more than 11 total bases in a game, well, that would be Andrew McCutcheon. August 1st, 2009. He had 3 home runs against the Nationals here at PNC Park. Also had a base hit. 13 total bases in the game. Wandy Rodriguez, the switch hitting pitcher, takes a strike. If you haven't followed Wandy at the plate at all since he's been a Pirate, he has the double flap helmet and he can hit from both sides.
He can swing from both sides.
And he grounds into an out. I was trying to be nice. He is 1 for 47, by the way. He does have one hit.
My point. But his job's not to hit. His job is to get outs. He's mowing them down tonight. What we need. Pedro is carrying the load on offense so far.
Jose Tabado for 2.
You have to make those power necklaces for pitchers.
Chewing on them all game long. He's got a certain kind of necklace on him.
He's not chewing on them. What's that taste for him?
It tastes like rope.
He's got the rope necklace on that most guys wear.
Balls and no strikes. Yeah, if it ever breaks, he could make a bracelet out of it.
That's a good point. Don't throw it away. It's kind of like holes in the knees. Just make shorts.
Inside the top of the ball 4. 2-out walk. Jose has reached base for the first time tonight.
Travis is stepping in. He hasn't been retired yet. And a double on base on balls.
He scored 2 of the Pirates' 4 runs tonight. Four out of 9 in the series. He's upped his average from 300 to start the game to 309 currently. Tapper just into the glove of Keller. Makes a nice play and throws him out. 1 man left. And we'll go to the 5th. Gorgeous night in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Pirates lead the Cardinals 4-0.
Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. By PNC Bank for the achiever in you. And by Chevy Cruze, which offers EPA estimated 42 mpg highway. Let's go Bucks!
What a picture. What a picture.
And all the colors. Yes. Amazing. Just jumps out at you. Look at those colors. A lot of green.
They're excited about the score.
Just makes you want to jump, doesn't it?
They've been eating those candy necklaces.
Jump, jump.
And a ground ball to Barmas. And Furcal is out. One pitch, one gone in the Cardinal half of the fifth. Well, the last time Bob asked for some, it showed up immediately.
I have those blue ones. I don't eat the blue ones.
No, I don't. Like, do they really taste different than the pink
ones? Oh, yeah.
ones?
The pink ones are delicious. Blues, well, it's okay. Some people like blue. I understand that. But the pink ones are the best. They have another color here that I just saw tonight. They have purple.
Oh, really?
Purple, yes. I don't know if that's like a mixture. The blue and the pink get together or what happens there. But
maybe it's just grape.
I saw some purple ones out there.
And 0 for 1 rather. Now it's 0-2 to Kelly.
How about the starts that Pirates have gotten in two crucial games? Last night, James McDonald came out through 7 shutout innings, a 2-hit baseball. And now here Wandy tonight following it up. He's throwing a 2-hit shutout. Only 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. We talked about this in the first inning. You pointed out immediately on the radio how quick he was working, his body language, the way he was going after the hitters. Strike 1.
Swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Kelly.
It really stood out last night, and Wandy's pretty much doing the same thing tonight. Good spot there. Got that fastball up and in. Even though it's a pitcher, it makes it much tougher for anybody to catch up to it. When you're not a hard thrower, Wandy's not a hard thrower. You like to try and get that fastball up and in a little bit. Makes it play a little quicker.
One was inside.
Like right there.
Ray Searage and Clint Hurdle like their pitchers to work within a certain time frame per pitch. I want to keep it less than 14 seconds between pitches.
What was J-Mac last night? About 7?
7, maybe 6.9. He was quick. He was quick. He was determined, and you talked about it. He was 0-2 most of the time, and he pitched ahead all night. 3-1 to John Jay.
I heard him in an interview say that he was just concentrating. I wanted to throw strike 1, strike 1, strike 1, and if I didn't, then here I come back. Here's the next pitch is going to be right there for a strike. Just wanted to be ahead, and he certainly did that.
And John Jay has walked for the 3rd straight at bat. Second time he's done it with 2 outs. All 3 walks that Wandy has issued have been to John Jay.
Certainly not a good strategy on Wandy's part, considering that Beltran is hitting behind him, and he's the guy that has the good numbers against Wandy. You identify the guys that give you trouble, and then you go after the people in front and behind of them, so that way you can kind of pitch around the troublemakers.
Beltran is 1 for his last 9. Beltran is the first ever switch hitter with 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases. Rodriguez at 80 pitches now. Carlos Beltran, 2 balls, no strikes, with John Jay the runner at first. And now it's 3-0. Wandy getting into a bit of trouble.
We started bragging on him a little bit too early, just before the John Jay at bat. He's thrown so many strikes since then.
Briero is there for a called strike. Back in the count is Rodriguez.
Got a cushion 4-run lead. The walks will hurt you more than anything else. Even though Beltran hits him well, he's got to go after him here. Can't be too fine.
Tapper to third base. Alvarez checks the ball, fires to first, and he's got it. Another 0 for Wandy Rodriguez. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th at PNC Park when we return.
Gonna believe it when you hear it, when you see it, when you read it. Wins in the money stack, PNC getting packed, leave no doubt about it. That the Bucks are us. Back on the scene, crispy and clean. Loyal fans of other clubs trying to claim a new team. You can see us raising hell around the league. They should probably rename us devils. Just like what's good. They forgot the nation rocking black and yellow.
4 runs on 5 hits for the Pirates. No runs on 2 hits for the Cardinals. Bottom of the 5th, along with Rob King and Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Glad you're watching Pirates baseball with us from PNC Park. Joe Kelly, the rookie, facing Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen is 0 for 2. Grounded out back to Kelly in the first inning and flied to center field in the third. 0-1 pitch. It's 1-1. How good has McCutchen been? When he starts dropping below 345, people are panicking. Player of the month in June and July in the National League. August he's dipped a bit.
The first game he got a couple of hits back through the middle. I thought that was a good sign. He was red hot. He was hitting a lot of balls to right center. Actually right center with some power. A number of home runs that way.
Big leap on the foul ball. So it's 2-2 to McCutchen.
McCutchen might have got a little bit too pull happy of late.
See what he did in July though. 446.
Yeah, that was when he was really smoking, and those 7 home runs he hit. I know at least 2 or 3 of them were to right center.
2-2 pitch. There you go. Right back up the middle.
When he's hitting the best is when he's going back through the middle, not being so concerned about trying to pull the ball. And he just lashed this one up there.
All parts of that swing are working. Garrett Jones doubled in a run in the first inning. He walked and scored in the third. Both he and Snyder got the ride home for free on Alvarez's home run.
Now, the idea of protection is that the guy on deck strikes a little fear into the catcher and pitcher, and so you're going to see better strikes to hit because of that, because they're afraid of walking you in front of the on deck hitter. But so far the protection hasn't worked for Jonesy. Being very careful with him. Everything right on the very edge of the strike zone. And to me, it makes no sense. You would not want to make a mistake and walk Jones and have to pitch to Alvarez as red hot as he is. Not that pitching to Jonesy's any day in the park either, but you got to make a choice. You see the first two pitches right on the edge and a little off the plate. I think they're going to try and go down and away again, a little further off the plate. Now they can afford to do that now because they were able to go 0-2. They can stay out there. You can make some pitchers pitches, but when you get to 3 balls, that's when you got to stop that and try to throw a strike that's got a good part of the plate and just take your chances.
1-2 pitch is high. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jones. A couple of hits in the series, but he's hit a few balls hard. Had a sacrifice fly in last night's game. It was not a fly. It was a line drive that probably didn't get higher than 20 feet off the ground. Out to right field. Scored a runner. Again outside.
Okay, now this is the pitch where Cruz is just right on the corner, right on the corner, right on the corner, right on the corner every time with the glove. I don't think you can afford to do that here. I'll take a chance at ball 4 and have Alvarez come up with 2 guys on. That's what they did last time, and we saw what happened. Going off speed pitch.
He strikes out. The change.
And it wasn't a strike. Ball was off the plate.
Our Coors Light cold hard blast provided to us tonight by El Toro. He has 7 home runs against the Cardinals. Here's every swing, including this one tonight for his 26th home run of the season. Cold hard blast brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Does he have another one in him?
And here's the opposite scenario. You have Josh Harrison, who is not a power threat, on deck. He hits right-handed. Now that provides really no protection for Pedro. Pedro in this situation should not see anything good to hit. He should definitely get the same pitches that Jonesy got.
McCutchen takes off and he's out. And it's still somewhat of a mystery as to why Andrew McCutchen continues to get thrown out. It's the 11th time he's been thrown out.
And I don't understand why he's running in this situation. With 1 out and a power hitter that is absolutely red hot at the plate, plus with you're holding a hole over there for him. That was a one time where I don't think Andrew should be going anywhere. Obviously, you had the green light, but
Alvarez to right center field. That one is down into the gap, and that would have scored McCutchen.
I don't understand what he was trying to run for. With Pedro at the plate, you got to let him hit.
Pedro continues to be hot. A double for him, his 21st. That's a ball that McCutcheon probably tries it on. Gets to the plate. All the way to the wall in deep right center.
Well, even if he doesn't try it, it's second and third and 1 out.
Yeah.
Now, if there was, I'll tell you what, Alvarez is up, even with 2 outs. I mean, you're in scoring position at first base when Alvarez is hitting.
He's in scoring position at the plate. Harrison will try to get Pedro in with 2 men out. And he may just do that. Base hit to center. Alvarez around third. Jay lets it go to the plate. Safe at the plate. Down to second. Safe there too. 5-0 Pirates. A 2-out RBI base hit for Josh Harrison. He goes down to second on the throw. And the Bucks add another.
Josh Harrison is a very popular man here tonight. After what happened last night, he's been somebody to kind of rally to, a spark plug type player since he first put on that Pirate uniform. Throw comes to the plate, so Josh moves up to second.
Pitch to Rod Barajas from Kelly. He's outside. McCutcheon probably a bit disappointed. And you're right, when Pedro gets in these little grooves that he gets in, you want as many base runners on as you can get. Slow roller to Furcal at short. Pirates add on another run on 3 hits. 1 man left as Pedro doubles and scores on the Harrison base hit. Freeze cam. This play by Pedro Alvarez off the bat of David Freeze. Almost got him. 2-hopper. Just that close. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frostproof Coors Light.
Freeze it.
AGH Cam slows it down. And Oliver Onion, he's number 1.
That was his 11th victory of the year, which is dead last. Somebody's got to be last. Might as well be an Onion.
I think yeah, well, he's got 0, which means that's actually not too many wins, not enough.
No, he's getting some high fives though.
He's got an appointment with the eye doctor in the morning.
Pierogies are very popular after the race when they're going through the stands, signing autographs. Hugging the kids.
Matt Holliday is 0 for 2. Starts the top of the 6th inning. Pirates a 5-0 lead.
Oh, they're getting mobbed.
Yeah. If they weren't pierogies, you'd never notice them over there. 1-1. And Matt Holliday lines one to center field. Here comes McCutchen, a great sliding grab. Takes a hit away from Holliday. Holliday's been chasing his 1500th career hit. His next hit would be that. And he's going to have to wait thanks to the play by Andrew McCutchen.
Well, he certainly scalded that when he couldn't hit it any harder. Got a little bit of a fade on it, kind of bring it back to Kutch. And Kutch with a great jump. Immediately recognized that he needed to move in. Sometimes those line drives is very tough to read how hard they're hit. Not much of a hesitation on that. Good read off the bat.
Nothing in 1 to Alan Craig. Cardinal first baseman 0 for 2. Now it's 1-1 to him. Trevor Rosenthal warming up in the bullpen. Rosenthal recalled today from AAA. He, along with catcher Brian Anderson, up from AAA Memphis. Pitcher Brandon Dixon and infielder Ryan Jackson were sent back to AAA after last night's game. Cardinals wanting to get another catcher up here in Anderson. In case Molina can't go for a few days, they need a backup. Not putting Molina on the DL though. Down to third base, Alvarez gloves it. Throws out Craig, and there are 2 gone in the Cardinals' 6th. School's back in session, and so is college football on Root Sports. Be here tomorrow when the Fighting Falcons of Fairmont State take on the Clarion Golden Eagles. It's all part of Wild and Wonderful Sports, and it kicks off live tomorrow, 6 p.m. on Root Sports. Time to kick it off.
Jolly Roger is going up tonight. Got that good feeling.
2 outs for David Freese, the third baseman. Strike 1. I know last night before the game, when we were working on radio together, you were talking about how you had a good feeling about last night's game before the game. Sometimes you just get a twitch. You can tell.
I knew that one was going to be a W. What did I say tonight?
It's a base hit by Freese. So you said
both of them.
I had a good feeling about
I like the last 2. Like the pitching matchups.
Armas just unable to get to that baseball.
Pirate bullpen's going to get into action with a 2-out single. Wandy hasn't had any problems yet with Schumacher. Hopefully this will be a quick 3rd out.
Pirates have double barrel action going. Jared Hughes, the right-hander, Tony Watson, the lefty. Rod lost his mask.
Probably didn't feel good.
Well, he caught the helmet. I mean, he caught the mask rather. He is a catcher. Supposed to catch everything.
Nice job.
I mean, just so nonchalant too. He just had a Ball fouled off his face, and as he catches the mask, he's turning around to Gary Cederstrom and says, all right, give me the next ball.
You got about 1.5 inches of padding on that mask, and that's what is between you and a 90-mile-an-hour pitch. So I mean, it gives you a pretty good jolt when you take one in that mask.
He's taken a few. Schumacher in the air to left center field, going after it. Tabata, who grabs it. Cardinals will strand another runner. Wandy Rodriguez is through 6, and the Pirates with a 5-0 lead.
Diamondbacks earlier today tied at 2 in the top of the 7th. Deoner Navarro hits a solo home run to left field on Patrick Corbin. Second of the season for him. The Reds take a 3-2 lead at 3 more in the 8th and go on to win, guys. By the final score of 6-2, seems like nobody can beat the Reds these days.
Well, Reds have won 3 straight. And trying to build a bigger lead over the Cardinals and Pirates.
Diamondbacks going the other way pretty quick.
And the Reds, the first team in baseball to get to 80 wins. So those halves right now, depending on what happens here tonight, those will go away if the Pirates win, make it a game closer to St. Louis. They won't gain on Cincinnati. They'll stay at 9. And the Cardinals would drop back to 8. 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. 0-3-0 the line for the Cardinals. Utility man Matt Carpenter out there at second base, inserted in the 9 spot in the batting order. And right-hander Trevor Rosenthal hitting 6th goes into Schumacher's spot. Just called up today from AAA Memphis. He's out of Lee's Summit, Missouri originally. On roster invite to spring training.
Pretty good arm, doesn't he?
Yeah. Strong right arm. Goes hard, 98 miles an hour.
Looks like he's done for the night, huh?
Yeah, with Jeff Clement in the on-deck circle.
He's got close to 100 pitches.
Barnes shoots this one down the right field line for a base hit. Leadoff single for Barnes. So Jeff Clement will come up and hit.
Wandy coming into the dugout, congratulated. After he was told he's done for the night, going to have a pinch hitter.
Wandy did his job. He put a 0 up. 6 innings. 6 innings. Scattered 3 hits.
conversation
struck out
with
3.
his catcher about the night. What went right, what went wrong, and the what went wrong part was very short conversation.
Coming to the right side. He is out with Rosenthal covering. Gets Barnes over to second base.
At least it was a productive out. Ball chopped slowly enough that all they could do was try and get the out at first. Can never have enough. I mean, that's comfortable lead, 5-0, but wouldn't hurt to get a little insurance for these last 3 innings. Barnes thinking about getting a third with 1 out.
And 1 on top of him.
If you look at where the middle infielders are, you can see why. There is nobody paying any attention to him. Everybody with their heels on the grass.
Rosenthal, the hard-throwing right-hander, made his major league debut on the 18th of July at Milwaukee. And he threw a scoreless inning, struck out 2. His first major league strikeout was Corey Hart, first baseman for the Brewers. And he had a pitch register 100 miles an hour.
Fakal saw that little bluff by Barmes on that first pitch. He's sneaking in a little bit, slowly walking up behind him, just in case he wants to do it again.
Top of a slow roller. Now we get Barmes over to third base. Tabata now 0 for 3 with a walk.
I think Barmes lost his window of opportunity after that first one. He wasn't allowed to take that big lead again. But that would have been nice if he could have got over to third, brought the infield in. Anytime there is 1 out, that's when you're thinking about taking a gamble and pushing your luck to get to third base.
1 ball, no strikes to Snyder. Watson continues to prepare himself to come into the ball game. And the bottom part of the order due up for St. Louis in the top of the 7th. Cruz blocks that pitch. He will lead off. Cruz will. And Fakal will follow, and then Matt Carpenter will hit third at the top of the 7th. Right now, the Pirates trying to get another run for Wandy Rodriguez.
I like the matchup. Snyder has shown that he can get around on a good fastball.
Foul this one back.
And Rosenthal has a good fastball. That last one, 98. Travis, good for the Pirates. Short time he's been here. Looks to me like a keeper. A little breaking ball fooled him there. He kind of pumped his left hand in a fist. He got fooled by it. Starts out just off the plate and curls in, catches the corner.
The 2-2. Foul back. Snyder stays alive.
99-mile-an-hour fastball. Snyder batting average over 300. Pirate average.
Facing the strong-armed 22-year-old from Lee's Summit, Missouri. Trevor Rosenthal.
Well, looking at Snyder's history too, I think there's power there that we haven't seen yet. I think as he becomes more comfortable in his new surroundings, he gets more familiar with the National League pitchers, especially with the Clemente wall out there so close. Start hitting some home runs.
Alan Craig will handle it himself. Pirates will strand a man. They get 1 hit. On to the 7th. Tony Watson will come on to do some work next. Pirates a 5-0 lead. Seventh inning. How about the Pirates down to the farm? Bradenton, Florida, Pirate City, the Gulf Coast League Pirates. The young kids win the GCL championship, beating the Gulf Coast League Red Sox 2-0 in the best-of-3 series. Outstanding work. And the Buccos get championships out of their minor leaguers. Kind of spreads throughout. You know, I talked to Chase Darno yesterday about his time coming through the system. And as a Pirate minor leaguer, he's won a championship with Single A in Lynchburg before they moved to Bradenton. He won a championship Double A Altoona. And he was telling me yesterday that he feels strongly that the Indianapolis Indians are going to win the AAA title in the International League. He said it's been nothing but winning for him and the guys he's come up with through the minor league system. And starting that cycle all over again with the Gulf Coast League guys. Tony Watson to face Tony Cruz. Tony against Tony. Cruz had a hit last night. He's 1 for 4 in the series. 0 for 2 tonight. Strike call, 1-1. Good looking pitch by Watson. Didn't get a call. See how close that was. No question about that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pirates with a single run in the first inning tonight. Garrett Jones an RBI double, driving in Travis Snyder, who had a double. Then a 3-run third. Pedro Alvarez a 3-run home run. In comes McCutchen. He won't get to this one. That's a base hit for Tony Cruz to lead off the Cardinals' 7th. The Bucs host the Chicago Cubs Friday, September 7th in a divisional matchup at PNC Park starting at 7:05, and it's a free shirt Friday where all fans receive a Pirates t-shirt courtesy of PNC Bank. Come early for a block party on Federal Street before the game and enjoy local live music and food. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Neil Walker still sitting out. This is his third straight game. Jeff Karstens will start the opener against Milwaukee Friday. Field for a call, the number 8 hitter up. Nobody out, one on.
The Pirates aren't taking any chances. There's the bullpen already going. Just a leadoff hitter aboard.
Jared Hughes back up for a second time throwing. One and one to for call. Call 0 for 2 in the ball game. He just kissed his bat, didn't he?
He likes that bat. It's a favorite bat of his. I'm hoping he doesn't break it.
Here comes the 1-1 delivery. Low for a ball. 2-1. Tony Watson pitched at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. He liked being a Cornhusker. He's got to be one of those guys. If you attend that school, or if you live in that region, this is a very big time of year because it's the time of year everybody around there lives for. And that's not unusual in a lot of other places, but they're kind of isolated out there in the middle of the country. They get excited for football to start. Shallow center field. Here comes McCutchen on a dead run. Makes the catch. Andrew McCutchen covers a lot of real estate. Furcal retired.
Furcal had a pretty big swing at this. Yeah, see McCutchen, he waited a second. He didn't read it right away, so he had to come in a hurry to make that catch.
McCutchen had a little expression on his face, might have rolled a foot. He's okay though. Here's Matt Carpenter. Looks at the ball outside. Carpenter's found his niche with the Cardinals. Hasn't hit for power in several months, but still hitting for average at .308. Most of his home runs came at the beginning of the season. He was the regular first baseman to start the year because Craig was out. And over the first maybe 3 weeks to a month of the season as a first baseman for the Cardinals, he actually had better numbers than Albert Pujols did with the Angels.
So did half the pitchers in the league.
Yeah, Albert didn't have the greatest start, but he's made up for it.
Yes, he has. Gumby. Oh, look at that shirt. That's one of my favorite shirts.
Where's Pokey?
That shirt.
Didn't know Gumby was here tonight. You never know. Sitting in Celebrity Row.
Pokey's a Red fan. Not here.
Carpenter chased that one, and he's down on strikes. 2 men gone for the Cardinals in the top half of the 7th.
Puts him away with a little slider in the dirt. Got the chase. For Tony, that fastball is such a dominant pitch for him. He throws so many up. It really doesn't matter much to him whether you come up there right-handed or left-handed. You have lefties that throw slider after slider after slider. They're a specialist at getting out the left-handed hitters. That's a pretty nice slider right there. That might be one of the best ones he's thrown. That one, nice break to it, good velocity, and it's a perfect location.
Jay has walked 3 times. Now he is behind Watson 0-2. Watson with no intention of giving a free pass to Jay. Cruz the runner at first, 2 out. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Tony Watson. It's stretch time at PNC Park. 5-0 Bucks. Tonight's 7th inning stretch presented by the new face of Northwood Realty Services.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you now to stand, follow the bouncing Eden Park Smiley Cookie, and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Three-run shot in the 3rd inning, and the Pirates with a 5-0 lead going to the bottom of the 7th. And the hard-throwing 22-year-old Trevor Rosenthal facing Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen 1 for 3 tonight. McCutchen's made a couple of nice plays in center field. And the pitch down low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Andrew McCutchen. Leading the National League in hits with 165. It's fouled back. Strike 2. Last Pirate player to lead the league in hits. You got to go back to 1992. Andy Van Slyke at 199. McCutchen on pace for 206. He should eclipse 200 hits. It's certainly a milestone.
Yeah, that's what every hitter that's a good hitter. That's the number that they're looking for every year.
He's got 600 hits even in his career right now.
It's like a 20 games to a pitcher. I mean, a 20-game hitter getting 200 hits. It's hard to do.
Here comes the payoff pitch from Rosenthal. And McCutchen skies this one to center field. Jay waiting for it to come down. 1 out. Bring the whole family to cheer on the Bucks Sunday, September 9th, as they battle the Chicago Cubs at 1:35. All fans 14 and younger take home Neil Walker Fathead Jr. wall decals, thanks to Trip Total Media. Come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. Stay after. Kids get to run the bases thanks to H.K. Anderson Pretzels. For tickets, pirates.com. Jones takes strike one. Garrett's 1 for 2 tonight. Well, Neil figures to be back for his Fathead Jr. Decals Day. Not everybody gets a Fathead Jr. Decals Day, you know.
No, in fact, I don't think I've ever seen one before. I think Neil might be the first. I don't recall us giving one of those away.
Oh, they're pretty cool. You just stick them on a wall, and if you want to move them, you just take them off, and it doesn't do anything to the wall, and it retains its stickiness. They're usually much bigger. You see them in, sports bars or kids' bedrooms, stuff like that. My kids have some of those. Good shot of Pedro on deck.
Video action.
2-2 pitch. That's fouled into the glove of Cruz, and Jones strikes out for the second straight at bat. 2 gone. And the Pirates half of the 7th.
There's the pictures he wanted.
Well, if he hits another one out of the yard, she can take another picture. Two for 3 tonight.
How many bases does he have?
Let's see, 4, 5. He's got 8. That's a home run. That'd be 12. Behind the count now, 0-2. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. This Rosenthal could bring some heat. 1-2.
Made a good pitch there, 98. Off the plate a little bit.
Rosenthal works fast and he throws fast.
He's concerned about that fastball. Like that. Look at that. Look at that. He does not like that. That paid his attention a little bit.
And then struck him out. Pedro 2 out of 4. Pirates gone in order in the bottom of the 7th.
Is brought to you by Jeep. Now get a great deal on a legendary Jeep vehicle. at the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Levin Furniture and the all-new Levin Mattress Stores. For a great deal on a new bed, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucs!
Pedro putting together some good performances. 3 home runs over his last 2 games, helping the Pirates to a 5-0 lead. Going to the top half of the 8th inning. 3-run home run in the 3rd. Gabby Sanchez replaces Garrett Jones at first base. He goes into the 9 spot and really in Jones's spot in the order. Double switch. So Jason Grilli is set to pitch the 8th inning.
Take a look at Grilli's numbers on the year, and I want to point one more thing out about Pedro. You know that it's important that your big players come through for you in your biggest games. And have there been 2 bigger games this year? Or have there been 2 bigger games at PNC Park in the last decade than the last 2? With the importance, the impact on our season than these last 2 ball games. And looking at the wild card spot, looking at what was happening, and that guy right there stepped up big time.
It's been the Pedro show. 1-1 to Carlos Beltran, who has a base hit tonight, 1 for 3. Singled off of Wandy Rodriguez in the 3rd. Wandy is the pitcher of record to the good tonight, looking for his first win as a Pirates starter. He left after 6 innings, scattering 3 hits, walking 3, striking out 3. The 3 he walked was the same guy, center fielder John Jay. Joe Kelly on the hook for the Cardinals. Two and 2 now to the Cardinal right fielder. Jason Grilli making his 53rd appearance. He's 4 appearances shy of his career high of 57 with Detroit in 2007. Grilli's been scored upon just once in his last 15 appearances. Going back to the 18th of July. Has a scoreless streak of 7 1/3 innings entering tonight. Two and 2 to Carlos Beltran. Matt Holliday on deck. Got him. 74th strikeout, extending his career high. 74 strikeouts in 48 1/3 innings.
One of the things that you have to have in the modern game of baseball is you got to have that 8th inning man, somebody that bridge to your closer in the 8th inning, and really he's been a solid steel bridge made by American Bridge.
Pitch to Holliday. That misses off the corner. Well, they know about steel and they know about bridges in this city. Scoreless innings pitched. Both starters in tonight's game and last night's game, McDonald and Rodriguez, left without giving up a run. Pirates would win 9-0 last night and leading here in the 8th 5-0 tonight. After losing a 1-run game in Game 1 Monday. James McDonald, following his start, joined us here on Root Sports on All Access Night. Talked about his outing. 2 strikes on Matt Holliday.
He really keeps that ball in on his hands. That's where you're going to have that success.
talked about social media earlier in the game. Gurley's big into that.
He was up on the deck today.
Yeah, he's big into it. His Twitter handle is grilled cheese 49. He's on that thing all day. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
That's what Gurley does. Gurley needs one of those grills that burns a K into the steaks. Isn't that what he needs?
You mean like a branding iron?
Yeah. But like on a grill, a gas grill.
Well, he could build his own grilled cheese on the grill and then put a K on the. And occasionally, turn it backwards and have a backwards K occasionally.
That should be his brand right there.
2 outs for Allen Craig. Takes low for a ball.
Queso.
Yeah, grilled queso.
Yeah.
With a K on it. I'd eat it. To right field. Snyder backs up and just on the warning track makes the catch. And Jason Grilli, a perfect 8th inning. 1-2-3 with 2 punch-outs. Heading to the bottom of the 8th. Harrison, Barajas, and Barmes coming up for the Bucks. This game being seen around the country. Of course, the telecast you're watching in this region, but the national telecast. John Shambi on the right, and Nomar Garciaparra in the color commentary. Pedro Gomez is here as well. First time that network's been to this ballpark in a long time. Josh Harrison down to third. And there is 1 out in the Pirates' 8th. Take a look at the Nissan road ahead. And the Brewers series coming up with the day off. And the dart out of the rotation. The Pirates will just move guys up. Jeff Karstens will go against Mark Rogers Friday night. Saturday, A.J. Burnett will go on regular rest against Marco Estrada. Then James McDonald and Giovanni Gallardo in the finale Sunday. There's our Nissan road ahead. Pitches inside to Ron Barajas. One 0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. For 3 tonight for the Pirate catcher. He pops this one up to shallow center field. John Jay puts it away for the second out. Email the booth through GameConnect@rootsports.com. AJ in Pittsburgh. When the team goes on road trips, how do the uniforms get cleaned? How does all the equipment get moved? How do new players get uniforms so fast? Well, there are answers to all of those questions, AJ. There's a guy somewhere
that one's awfully dirty. Well, the way they get clean is there are big wash machines, excuse me, that are in all the clubhouses. And if the Pirates were traveling, say after the game tonight, they'd have to pack them dirty, and they would get unpacked. They don't pack them in the equipment bags. They'll be kind of like big laundry baskets that go on the airplane. There'll be a truck in the loading dock next to the Gypsies wagon, and they'll load that truck up with all the equipment, the bats, all that stuff, and the laundry, whether it's clean like tomorrow it should be clean, or dirty like right after a game, and it gets taken. And when the team gets in at say 2-3 o'clock in the morning after a night game somewhere, the clubhouse guys, Scott Bonnet, the clubhouse man for the Pirates, they go to the ballpark after everyone gets dropped off at the hotel, and they have all that equipment, and it all gets unpacked. It gets hung in the lockers. The players themselves, they don't see any of that stuff. After tonight, the Pirate players won't see their equipment until they walk into the clubhouse in Milwaukee at Miller Park, and everything will be hanging in their locker. It's a big job, and the equipment guys do it efficiently and quickly. They don't have much time after a game sometimes.
And they do pack extra uniforms for new guys. They try to anticipate situations, and if they need a nameplate made, they often get help from the other clubhouse manager. From the home team, they help them out with sewing the nameplate on or whatnot, or a number.
Yeah, they take a lot of, I mean, there's tons of extra hats, extra belts, extra socks, extra underwear. I mean, everything you can think of. They have to think ahead what they might need and take the extra stuff. Of course, depending on the length of the road trip, the guys will select what bats they want to take, how many they think they might need. There'll be a big truck at the ballpark tomorrow, and they'll load up all the equipment, and they'll leave for the airport about 15 minutes or so before the bus. You know, a lot of unloading to do at the airplane.
2-2. Farmas strikes out, foul tip into the glove of Cruz. It is hammer time, as Joel Hammerhand will come on to finish it up. win today. They want to raise that and that with 3 more outs and win this series against the Cardinals and try to take the season series. We asked their text poll question earlier in the game: are collisions at home plate good for baseball? And yes, prohibitively the favorite, 77%. You can text anytime, 412-412. Message data rates may apply. I kind of had a feeling that Pittsburgh fans would say yes.
You can't take it out of the game as far as I know, unless you figure out some way that you can, punish the catchers for standing in front of home plate. If you can't move the catchers out from in front of home plate, there's always going to be some kind of contact. Whether it's sliding in or not, there'll be guys going in. It'll be real hard slides. There'll always be something. The only way you can get away from that is if the catchers aren't there. And some managers, remember it was Posey, they were telling him not to block the plate anymore.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy's manager said get out of the way and sweep tag.
Yeah, so that'll stop it. If you're not standing in front of the plate, you're not ever going to get run over.
Mike Matheny got run over before.
Yeah, everybody that's ever caught, I'm sure, has been roughed up a little bit at some time.
Non-safe situation for Hanrahan. He's got a 1-1 count on David Freese. Top of the 9th inning. There's 4 hits for the Cardinals tonight. They've left 7 on base. Right by him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joel Hanrahan, the 2-time All-Star, delivers home 1-2. Lance Barksdale saying he did not go. David Freese, who has the only multi-hit game for the Cardinals, 2 for 3. Fouls this one off down the right field side. Bullpen's done a good job tonight. Watson, an inning of scoreless relief, 2 strikeouts. Grilly, an inning of scoreless relief, 2 strikeouts. Backing up 6 strong innings from tonight's starter, Wandy Rodriguez. He was in line for his first win as a starter as a Pirate. It would be his 2nd Pirate win. He got his first career relief victory.
Both against Cardinals.
Both against the Cardinals. That was a 19-inning game. And down on strikes goes Freese. He got caught looking.
Frozen. Breaking ball sat right on the outside corner. That slider is a awesome pitch. Once Hanrahan gets to 2 strikes, it's just anytime he has got any command of that slider and he gets to 2 strikes, that's when it's game over for the hitters.
Descalso getting an opportunity to hit in the pitcher's spot, which became the 6th spot after the double switch Matheny pulled off to get Rosenthal in.
AJ tweeted in that question earlier.
I think it was that AJ.
He was wondering how his uniform got cleaned every night. Shows up the next day. There it is, clean.
He's been around for a while. He probably has an idea. Pirates looking for win number 70. And to get a game closer to the Cardinals in that 2nd and final wild card spot. Descalso now 1 ball 2 strikes. Cincinnati beat Arizona, so Arizona fades a little bit. The Dodgers won. Pirates trying to stay ahead of the Dodgers. Dodgers beat Colorado 10-8 earlier. Ground ball to the right side. Diving stop by Sanchez. What a play by Gabby Sanchez. Hanrahan hangs on for the out.
Beating by a toe.
What a play by Sanchez.
Again, getting out there for a double switch and makes a fine play. Gets his uniform dirty.
Highway robbery here. Stole a hit.
A nice feed right on the money. And Joel just barely gets the toe of his shoe up against the edge of the bag.
Tony Cruz, the catcher, the last man to hit. The last time the Bucks recorded back-to-back shutouts was last year, July 18th and 19th, here at PNC Park against Cincinnati. He said Cruz is the last man to hit. That's what Hanrahan hopes, and the fans who are chanting "Let's go Bucks" down below. Off the glove of Hanrahan. That was a comebacker. He would have been the last man to hit. Now the Cardinals with a man aboard and 2 down.
I think if Joe just leaves this one go, he's the last man to hit. Got a feeling that Barmas would have been back there somewhere to make this catch because it wasn't hit very hard. See, it was like a changeup back to Joel. Oh yeah, Barmas would have had that one easy. That's all right. Just had to wait a little longer.
Recall first ball swinging, fouls it off his foot. Hanrahan got that one.
Now he catches it.
Just had to be kicked over to him. Sign Store had a special today, Bob.
Sign Store had to double the shipments of poster board this month. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Double their order.
Did you get a text on that too?
Sign of the times.
Huh. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rafael Furcal. He's 0 for 3. And the pitch. Missed high. The win, the Pirates would go back to double digits over 500, 10 games over 5. And they would win their 40th home game of the year. Cardinals down to their final strike.
How do you think it's going to end?
Strikeout.
Pop up to Barnes.
Okay. I say strikeout, you say pop up.
Okay.
And they'll have to do it on the next pitch. 3-2.
I don't think he'll throw him a 3-2 breaking ball. He'll go fastball. Comes the pop up.
Payoff pitch. 2 down, 1 on. And a fly ball to right center. Andrew McCutchen will put it away. The Pirates have won their 70th game in 2012. They've won the series with the Cardinals 2 out of 3, and they've won the season series with St. Louis, winning that 8 wins and 7 losses against the defending world champions. Wandy Rodriguez getting the win tonight, his 9th. Joe Kelly the loss. Pedro Alvarez his 26th home run of the season. A 3-run shot in the 3rd. So the Pirates win 2 in a row and go back-to-back shutouts at the Cardinals. Now we'll get a day off tomorrow, travel day, and head on to Milwaukee and try to do similar things to the Brewers at Miller Park. Updated standings in the wild card. The Pirates now a game out behind St. Louis. Dodgers a game and a half back, with Arizona fading at 7.5 out. So just a game out. Still a good opportunity for the Pirates to get that wild card spot that the Cardinals currently hold. 5-0 the final score. Let's go over to Rob King and Kent Jacoby.
Tim and Bob, thanks very much. And Teak, another familiar script for the Pirates. Around all the offense last night, we saw a really well-pitched ball game and really good defense behind James McDonald. We saw the same thing from and behind Wandy Rodriguez tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you get good pitching, the hitters, once they post a couple of runs, they can relax and just try to add on. And that's what's happened both of these nights. And, boy, did they add on tonight.
Our frequent guest now is Pedro Alvarez joining us again tonight. Pedro, first of all, obviously a really big win for this team to win this game and win this series against the Cardinals.
Absolutely, huge win, huge game, and we're glad we're on the winning end today.
And Teak, Pedro very modestly was saying last night, well, the wind was blowing out on some of those home runs. A feather could have dropped like a stone, but Pedro's being modest. Pedro, you crushed one again tonight. Obviously a big home run for the team, and it really looks like you're feeling comfortable, obviously, at the plate.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I've said a million times before, just trying to keep it simple, trying to put the ball in play, and good things happen when you keep it simple. And my biggest thing is I just want to be ready every time I'm up at the plate and on defense, and just have fun.
Well, Pedro, I mean, it's no secret for the last week or 10 days, the club has had a little bit of a scuffle going on. But tonight and last night with these two games, at least in my eye, it looks like a whole lot of that swagger that shows up on the field, which is just confidence, is back in play again.
I don't think we've ever lost the confidence or the swagger. It's just a matter of fact of there's some games that you're just not going to win. We lost some one-run games, close games. We've played well, just come up on the short end, and we've been on the winning end of a lot of those games. And it's just a matter of staying persistent and just playing the same game, and just hoping that it's going to turn around.
Pedro, thanks so much for the time. Again, appreciate it. Another great game for you. Congratulations to the team. Safe travels and good luck in Milwaukee. We'll see you this weekend.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Pedro Alvarez saying he wants to, just looking to put the ball in play. Well, he's putting it out of play, T.
Well, in play is just a little, or out of play is just a little further than in play.
Yeah, between those lines and out, it's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Pedro Alvarez, game changer last night, and T, game changer again tonight. Joe Kelly, pitching a decent ball game. It's 1-0 at this point, and Pedro hits a 3-run home run out to right field. Game with 2 outs. Such a huge delivery. The Jimmy John's delivery of the game for Pedro. A 2-out, 3-run homer, and that is the definition, really, Teak, of a game changer.
It is, and that's what we said. When the Pirates have a lead, and particularly when Pedro is swinging the bat well, like he has the last few days in particular, and probably the last 10 days in general. He makes such a big difference because it's the difference between getting runs and getting a lot of runs as Pedro Alvarez's bat. And the last couple of days, we've seen a lot of runs for a reason.
So the Bucks win by the final score of 5-0. We have a lot coming your way on the postgame show. Pirates postgame presented by Allegheny Sports Medicine on your way next. We have extended highlights, postgame reaction from inside of Victoria's Bucks clubhouse. You'll also hear from manager Clint Hurdle. Our Ask Teak segment and highlights from around Major League Baseball. All that and much more coming your way on Pirates Postgame presented by Allegheny Sports Medicine.